The world of Azerland has an array of regions and towns that offer a diverse assortment of goods and services. One such town, known only by the magical potions which are made there, holds a yearly summer solstice festival. This magical town is nestled deep in a lush forest, making it an ideal spot to forage all the ingredients one would need for an assortment of magical potions. Visitors travel from far and wide to acquire potions, but during the summer solstice festival, the town is especially bustling with seekers of magic. You must brew potions that give to these wary visitors, or keep them and drink them for yourself. Can you be the most prestigious potion master of them all? Here we are, set up for the solo play of Potions of Azerland. Pretty sure I'm saying that right. That's how I'm going to say it, Azerland. So, it's basically set up as a two-player game, with the difference being instead of two-player components, you randomly choose one of these apprentice or solo cards. So here's an example of one. I'm going to be using this one on top of the other, but this kind of gives you an example of what they look like. It's basically going to be showing you throughout the round what potions they're going to be drinking and then how they're going to be taking actions, which will make more sense as I walk through the game as I'm about to do. So for now, we'll leave that covered up so I don't know what they're going to do. So the game is played over 6 rounds, 4 phases per round. The first one is a ready phase, which I'll go over when we get to the second one, but basically it's going to be kind of refreshing the board, bringing in new visitors, etc. We skipped that in the first round because of the setup we already did. Next, we are going to be ordering our priority tiles. Each player is going to have one of these boards. So again, I will say that this plays just like the multiplayer, so these rules will help you learn that as well. You then are going to be choosing your tiles and putting it in one of the slots, basically doing a bidding programming type of system. So you can either put it with the number side in there, such as this, or you can have it flipped around like so you'll be getting gold instead. So once everyone has chosen it, they're going to put them face down by this board. Typically all of this is done up in here, but because of how I want to lay out the table, everything's over here, plus I only have the one. So I'll just basically put mine up when I am ready. Let's move this up just slightly. So once everyone has chosen it and they are technically face down in a multiplayer, face up in a solo player, we then have in turn order the option to drink potions. When you drink a potion, you are going to consult your board right here and see what level you are at. You can then activate the ability per potion drunk at the level you are at or lower. You have to choose one. You don't do everything. So right now I have a blue potion. So the blue potion, the first one is basically I would move this one over here to proficiency, which will have to do with the forge, which I'll get into later. And I'll grab 2 ingredients. I'll get into more potions as I drink them and do them. I don't want to overload the beginning too much. Once everyone has chosen to drink their potions, and this is when we would reveal the first part of the solo board, we're going to see that they're going to be drinking a novice level red potion. It doesn't really matter so much. You're not keeping track of things on this card. It's kind of letting you know what strategy they may be going with to kind of implement it. From the research I did on Board Game Geek, each solo one is the way a human player actually played. The designer wrote down all the rules, transcribed it, and put it into a solo bot card. So once everyone has drunk potions, you are then going to reveal the priority tiles, and then you are going to work your way from left to right doing the actions. The lower number, so a 1 is better than a 2 is better than a 5, etc. The lower number is the better number, and you'll get more action points to spend in 3 of the 5 actions. So if you have the lowest number, you get 4 actions. If you have the next one, it's 2. So if I have a lower number than the solo bot, I will do the thing 4 times. If they have a lower number, I'll do it 2 times. So the first spot is foraging. So when you forage, you will grab the number of dice. So again, if I have the lower number, I would grab 4. You roll the dice, you take those resources. Easy peasy, that is forage. Next, you go to study. Study is you use those points down here on your track here to move the different potions up, and these will unlock abilities to forage stuff or start unlocking the higher levels of potions, which will have better abilities and give you more points when you use those to fulfill a villager card. So study is, if you have the lower number, you'd move these a combination of 4. You can split it up amongst the discs. Otherwise, you'll move them 2. We then go into the market. So the market allows you to buy as many cards as you want from here. Whoever's first in priority order gets their pick first, can buy as many as they want, and then going around the table, next priority order, etc. The cost to buy them is down here, and then what you get is up top. After you go to the market, you go to the brew action. Brew action is when you can now brew potions. If you have the lower priority order, you can brew up to 4 potions. If you have the next one, you can brew up to 2 potions. To brew, the cost is up here. So the speed one is 2 of the little gems and a mushroom. Love is 2 mushrooms and a flower. Intelligence is 2 flowers and a gem. So when you brew it, you'll just spend those, and then you'll grab the appropriate potion from over there. The last step is fulfill. So this, like the market, is me first come, first serve. Whoever has the lowest priority order can fulfill as many as they want, and then the next one, if they are able to, will fulfill the next ones. So you'll notice up here, there is a point value when you fulfill them. Right here is the potion that they want. So we have 2 yellows and 2 blues out here. Then down here is the benefit you get for fulfilling them. So the lightning bolt happens immediately. So if I fulfilled this customer, they would come down into my area. And then this is, I would perform the study action with 3 times. These ones with the 1+, these are going to be a one-time during your turn. So in this one is, I believe, when you brew or when you drink a potion, you get a coin. I'll have to look these up specifically, but once you use them, you will turn them. Going back, alternatively, I said that you can put the coins down. Before you take any of these actions, if you have any coins showing, you will take those coins, and then we would start from the forage going across, and you can track that here. One other resource in this game is these apprentices. You can spend apprentices in certain rounds as depicted on this board, in foraging, in studying, and in brewing. For every apprentice you spend, you get an extra action point. So if I had the 4 dice, I could spend my apprentice to grab a 5th. You do need to spend them before you take the action, so I can't roll the 4 dice, realize I didn't get what I wanted, and then spend an apprentice to roll another one. It needs to be done beforehand. Once we are done taking actions, we would then move on to the next round. And again, in round 4, actions is when we would reveal what numbers they have, and then we are going to compare them. So let me just get a little bit slightly more into this potion board, especially in relation to fulfilling. So as you move up, you'll see some of these potions have this little plus prestige marker on there. That means when you use that potion to fulfill a order, you would get that extra prestige. So if my blue potion was up to there and I fulfilled this guy who's got a 3 with a blue, I would add 1, so I'd actually get 4 for fulfilling there. And if I had expert level unlocked, I would get an extra 2. They do not stack, it's +1 or +2. Again, a lot of this more will make sense as I go through the game, and I'll explain it as such. I will also point out that the designer did say they did make these solo difficult. To win in the solo, I need to have, I believe it was 65 points. After 6 rounds, if you are 65 or more prestige, you are victorious. So, that is all of that. Let me just have my solo page open in case I have any questions. There really isn't much to the solo bot itself. It's more, as I said, kind of has a player playing a certain strategy, and that's what you kind of might want to keep an eye on as you go. So with that being said, we are going to get started. As I said, we skipped the ready phase in the first round. So first thing we are going to do is we are going to assign our tiles onto our board. So I want to try and forage as much as possible. So I think we're going to put our forage in 1. Looking out, there are a couple nice cards there. So I think we are going to try and get a couple of coins to see if we can get one of those cards. So I know I want to do the market. I don't think I'm going to study just quite yet. So let's go ahead and put a coin there. And I don't know if I'm going to want to fulfill. I know I want to brew. So we'll put a 3 there. We're going to put a coin in our fulfill. We're probably going to skip fulfillments this round. And then we are going to go to the market. So that is all done there. So now we move into the drink potions. So we kind of salute this down, and we know that they are now going to be drinking a novice potion red. So again, doing some research on Board Game Geek to kind of make sure I'm trying to do things as best as possible. They basically said that the purpose of that is so you can kind of know while they're doing that. So they're probably going to be grabbing apprentices when they're doing their working around town. So they may not have as much money to spend at the market, etc. You're trying to like really kind of think about what strategy they might be doing, which would kind of choose for you how you might put your tokens out, because you're like, well, they probably aren't going to put a low number in the market, so you want to maybe put a lower number if you want to buy first, etc. So, but we now move on to drink potions. I'm going to drink my blue potion, which is going to unlock my proficiency, which means now when I roll forage, I'm going to roll 2 additional dice, and then discard 2 before I take my resources, so it gives me a greater chance of getting stuff. And then we are also going to get 2 resources of our choosing. I can see there's a couple of blues out here, and I really want to try and push my blue up anyways. So I think we are going to grab 2 flowers. One thing I should mention are these cauldrons. The cauldrons are a tiebreaker, because right now, even though I am the first player, if we say both choose a 3, then whoever has the lowest number cauldron would go first, and then the other player, and then we switch cauldrons. So we are now, I've drunk my potions, so we are now going to move into the whole reveal priority tiles. I'm going to grab 3 coins, 1, 2, and 3. We're going to reveal them. So now we will compare. So we're going to start off in foraging. I have a 1, they have a 3. So I get my 4 dice normally. And then because I have proficiency, I am going to roll 2 more dice. So we have all of that. So I'm going to look at their board here and realize that after study, I have my pick of the litter. So I know I'm going to be able to get the cards I want, which is a lot of flowers and a lot of mushrooms. So I know I want to keep these 2 gems. And I think we are going to want to keep, let's go ahead and keep 1 of each of the others. So these go back. So I now grab my resources of 2 of these little gem things, a flower, and a mushroom. I know there are probably real cool fancy terms for them. I am a simple man who will say what I see is, and that's a mushroom, a flower, and a gem. So these go back. Foraging is done. We now move to study. I didn't study. They did, so I don't move my discs at all. We go to the market. I have a 4. They didn't do anything in the market, so I have my pick. So I am going to spend all 4 of my coins to grab 3 mushrooms and 3 flowers. So these get bought, so they get discarded out of the game. So now I have a ton of flowers and a ton of mushrooms. Alright, so I have my potions laid out. One thing I do want to go back and touch on the market action. If you take the market action, whether you buy a card or not, but you have to have a number in the market action, you can trade in 2 resources for 1 resource. So if you didn't quite get what you needed, you can turn 2 in to get what you need. So we are going to do 2 intelligence and 2 intelligence. There we go. A love, and I grabbed the wrong thing, and a love. So we are going to do 2 love potions and 2 intelligence potions. The main reason I kind of did that is we have the intelligence ones out here, And if you look ahead up here, these people will be coming to the market area. And this one does want a red and any. So I am set up to do some good fulfillment next round. So that is it. That is the first round. So now we move into the second round. So for the refresh phase, you discard any market cards that are left, and you refresh the market accordingly. So I will say you want to make sure you do it in this grid pattern, because when they do take the market action, they kind of show what cards they are discarding, so it is in that grid pattern. Next up, you have the villagers come, or the customers come to the village. You reveal 2 more. If we had one of these villagers that had a once per turn ability, we would rotate that, or we'd ready them. We don't have any of those, so now instead we reveal this next token. And in this instance, everyone would get a apprentice. So we have an apprentice. So I always forget to kind of move this around. You're supposed to kind of move that down as you do the different actions. It helps more when you have more players. But seeing as it's just me, I'm basically going to be leaving it. I'll try to remember to move it as we go along. Then you grab your tiles back, and you are ready to begin the next round. Again, playing it in the same process. I'm now going to order my priority tokens on my board. Alright, we are going to give this a go. I was originally thinking of trying to get some coins to buy this studying card out there, but I think I'd rather just take all of the actions as we go. So the first thing we have up is we first are going to drink potions. So again, we kind of slide this one down. They're not drinking potions. That makes sense because they never brewed anything. So do I want to drink intelligence to get a couple of resources, or I could drink the red to get a couple of apprentices and have persuasion, which means instead of grabbing coins when I chose them on there, I could grab apprentices instead. I think I'm going to hold off. I think I want to keep my potions to fulfill orders this time. So we aren't drinking potions, so we now go into revealing our numbers. So they did not forage, so even though I used a 4, I still get my 4 dice, and I get my 2 bonus from my proficiency. And so for brewing, they are going to be doing a 1, so I'm only going to be able to brew 2, so I'm not overly concerned about getting a ton of resources necessarily. Market, they're going to discard that card anyway, so I'm glad I didn't plan on that. I am going to have the most in study, and I will have a chance to fulfill first. So let's roll the dice and choose what we want. So I know we were a little light on those last time. Looking out here and up there, we still have a lot of blue coming. So blue wants 2 flowers, so we'll make sure we grab that. And let's go ahead and grab an extra flower. So we get our 3 flowers, and we get our gem like so. So that is forage. We now go to study. I have a better study than them, so I get an action of 4. So I think for my action of 4, we are going to move these two both, 2, which is 4. You'll see I land on this forage icon. That means I'm going to grab 2 dice, roll them, and take the stuff. I do not get my proficiency because I am not doing the forage action. I am getting it as a benefit from here. So that's another flower and another gem. So I may be able to do a couple of intelligence potions. So there is that. So that was study. We now move to market. So again, we are tied. They discard these 2 cards. I probably could have put the coin there, knowing I probably didn't need to really buy anything. So that was a mistake on my part. I now have those available. I'm not going to do anything. Although, do I want to turn a couple of these in for a mushroom? You know what? Yeah, so I can do a speed potion. I'm going to turn, because I put a number here, even though I didn't buy, I can turn 2 goods in for 1. I'm going to turn them in for a mushroom. That is the market. We go to brew. They have the higher brew. Then it becomes me, so I can brew 2 potions. So we are going to do that intelligence. And then we are going to do a speed. So that is that. We now go to oh, we should switch these because we tied. We now go to fulfill. I am going to fulfill first. If we look at who they are going to fulfill, they're going to fulfill 2 people. They have a 1 and a 7. So they are going to fulfill the number 1. There's on the card. So they are technically going to fulfill this person. And then a 7. If the 7 isn't out here, they're going to go to the closest one up or down. If there's a tie, I choose. In this instance, they would be fulfilling that guy right there. So, looking at these ones that there are, this one is when you drink a potion, you get a coin. I know I kind of want to do her because I want to do that study action where I can push up my blue and try and get that to the intermediate because I really like the blue in intermediate. So I think that will be our first fulfilling, is we're going to fulfill our centaur here. We're going to spend our potion. We get 2 points. We do the study action 3 times. We're going to go 1, 2, and 3, which gives us the forage action, which gives us a flower. Now I have a ton of potions here. So this one is end of game. This is 3 points per pair of people or pair of requirements of yellow and blue. This person needs 3 random ones. I will instantly do one of the actions, it looks like. So I do think I'm going to fulfill him. So that is 3 potions of any kind. So we are going to go 1, 2. We're going to go all 3 of these. Wait, I want to keep that one. We are going to go these 3. So what this allows me to do is to take an action as I did this turn at that power level. I'm going to do the study action again to get me a 4. So we're going to go 1, 2. This pushes this up, 2. And then let's go ahead and push. You know what? We're going to do all 4 on blue. 3 and 4. Which will give me another forage, another flower. I am rolling a ton of flowers. All right. And then at the end of the game, I'm going to get 1 point per person with the potions. I believe that's 1 per potion. So we're just going to stick that right there. You know, let's put my apprentices up here. And then I think I am going to use this to fulfill him for 2 points. So now, whenever I drink a potion, which I plan on doing often, I can turn him 1 time to get a coin. So that'll be a way to help me get my coins. So that was my fulfill. And I forgot to give myself these 7. So 11. So 2, 4, 11. Had I done another blue one, I would have gotten an extra point for here. But alas, I didn't. I probably well, no, because she's the one who put me up there. All right. So now they are going to fulfill. So they are going to fulfill this 8 and this 4. The 4 is closest to 1. The 8 is closest to 7, so we'll put them up there so you can still kind of see them. So the town got quite wiped this turn. So again, that is it. We now move into the next round. So we refresh the market over here. Get these cards up. And because I'm not sure if I'm going to get to it, let me just explain. You'll see these little grabbing hands on here. What that is that's when you do the speed potion at the intermediate level. You basically reveal these cards until you choose to stop, or until you get to 6, or until I believe it's 3 hands. I'll look it up. Wait, it's right here. You reveal the cards from the top at any time. You must stop if you reach 6 cards or have 3 revealed hand icons. You gain a ingredient for each card revealed, ignoring the rewards listed on the card itself. If you do get the 3 hand icons, you lose 2 prestige. If you cannot lose 2 prestige, instead you gain no resources. So I'm not really big on pushing my speed potions up throughout the games. I've noticed I'm really more on intelligence, and you'll see why here in a second. So we've done that. The customers that are on the road come into town. We flip these over like so. We flip over the next token. So I'm going to get 1 point for every potion I complete. Sorry, correction, that is every villager I fulfill, I will get an extra point. And that is that. So, first step, as per the usual, we are going to figure out our priority tokens. So we've chosen that. So now are we going to drink potions? I am. I'm going to drink my blue potion. I'm going to do it at the intermediate level, so I don't get to 2 resources this time. Instead, I'm going to advance one of my markers, or advance my marker 6, so basically doing the study action at a level 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I could actually bring that up to intermediate and show you that at a future time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could expert the intelligence. I think we will. We're going to move our blue up to expert. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have one more. Let's get red out the gate. So now when I drink the blue potion, I could instead choose to roll this big old die, which guy has potions and victory points on it. So that is drinking potions. I will turn him, which is going to give me a gold coin. Oh, did they drink a potion? They did. They drank a novice level intelligence. So we now reveal our actions. So we start with forage. They went with a 5, so I do get my 2. I get my 2 for persuasion. Roll these up. Alright, so again, I know I want to do an intelligence, so I just need that for intelligence. And then let's grab the stuff we need for a love one, I guess. I'm going to have 3 coins, so I know I'm going to be able to buy flowers. So I think we're going to put the flower back and let's grab another gem, like so. So 2 mushrooms and 2 gems. Go to study. I didn't study. They did. We go to the market. They are beating me to the market, so they actually got rid of everything I was going to want to buy. So now it's my turn to the market, so I could get the 3 apprentices. Oh, I forgot to grab my 2 coins. But I think I am just going to pass on that, and I don't think there's anything I really want to turn in, so the market was a wasted one because they got rid of everything I wanted. We now go to brew. I can brew the most. They cannot. So let's go ahead and see what we want to brew. I know I want to brew an intelligence, because that's basically my study action. I think I was hoping to have more resources, because I was hoping to get those cards, be able to brew more. That's why I put a 1 there. So they are not going to fulfill anyone. So there is technically, if I did there's nothing I can do with what I have resources here. So I only brewed the 1 potion. So this is going to be a hindering turn. I'm going to have to pass on my fulfill as well. So that was not optimal. That is okay. So that was a quick round. I do have gold though next time, so I may not actually have to do the whole spending gold. I can do all of my actions again. So at this point we are halfway through the game. Let's go ahead and do the refresh. We are going to get rid of that card right there. Put new cards out here. I may be going to the market with an early number so I can make sure I get what I want. These come in here. We flip over 2 new cards. We flip over this. So now we get a point when we drink a potion. And my guy gets ready right here. Alrighty, so we are all the way back to doing our priority tokens. So let me knock those out here. Alright, we have our board set. So now we move into 3. They are not drinking a potion. So now we go to ours. We are going to drink our intelligence potion. We're going to turn him, which gives us a gold coin. We are also going to get a point because of the tile up there. We are going to do the whole study 6 action. So we're going to move our red one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which moves this one up to intermediate. Also gave me 2 forage actions, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. So we'll roll those. We got a mushroom and a flower. Like so. Alrighty. I'm going to need more flowers. So hopefully I get those in my forage. So we now move on to the action phase. So they actually are beating us on the forage. I'm going to make sure I grab my coin this time. So I only get the 2, but I get the 2 extra to roll. Come on, flowers. Oh man, I was rolling flowers so much before. I'm going to be flush with mushrooms. So let me grab the 2 gems. I'll probably be taking advantage of this to get some flowers so I can do some intelligence ones. So now we get to study. I didn't study. I put the 1 and 2 on brew and they're not even doing it. So they are going to fulfill first. So they're going to be doing 28 and 37. So they are going to be fulfilling these 2. So I'm going to kind of do this so I know I don't have to focus on them because they're going to be gone before I go. That's not something you would necessarily know in a 2-player or more game, although you can kind of see maybe what potions they're going for. So that is going to be one of the benefits of the solo. And as I said, it's supposed to be hard, so we're going to just do it that way. So I know I have these. So I'm going to the market. So I'm probably going to want to do some love potions because all of those need love. So I'm already going to do the 2 for the 3 mushrooms. And then I do want to do an intelligence one. So I'm going to spend the 2 to get the 2 crystals. Then kind of let me plan out my potions first to see if I'm going to be doing something else. Alright, so planning them out, I do need to get some flowers. So I'm going to turn these 2 in for a flower. I'm going to turn these 4 in for 2 flowers. You are able to do that trade as many times as you want. So I have my potions planned out like so. So I am done in the market. We now move to brewing. So I am going to brew 2 love potions. 1 and 2. And an intelligence potion. Because you know I want to drink that. Alright, there's my intelligence potion. Done. We now go to fulfill. So again, they are going to fulfill those. And I am now going to look out here. So this is going to be 1 point per fulfilled customer, I believe, including them. So that would be 4 points right away. That's an end game. That instantly is 2. And that, we are actually going to grab little Sultan looking guy here. So we are going to spend our 2 potions. So he is normally worth 6. We have unlocked the intermediate level, which gives us +1. It is not +1 per potion, it's just +1 per fulfillment. So it's 6 and 1 is 7. So one thing I do want to address with the rainbow potions and the bonus points. So say instead I had chosen for this player, and I had chosen to use these 2 instead. Even though the blue has a higher prestige value, because it's a rainbow, I do not get that. I would get the red one. Also, if someone needed a red and a blue and I turned these in, I would get the prestige level for the lowest valued one. So again, the red. Just want to let you know on that in case it doesn't come up. So I got him. So I got those points. Now 1 point per completed for fulfilled visitor. So 1, 2, 3, 4 points there. So it brings me up to 23. So let's just go ahead and stick you back there. And there we go. We have done all of our fulfillment. So now that we are done with the fulfillment, we go back to our refresh phase, going into our penultimate turn. Flip these over, like so. Bring in our village, our on the road customers. So you'll see the last 2 are flipped. So you know we are into the second to last round that way as well. We then ready our person and flip this over. So we each get a gold coin. Next up is aligning up our tokens. Alright, I have chosen mine. So we now move into 3 drinking potions. So they are not drinking any potions. As per the usual, I'm going to drink my blue one. I am going to get a coin for doing that. And then I get 6 movement on this track. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would give me 2 foragings. So yeah, let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lets me forage twice. I haven't rolled these. So a gem and a flower. That is good because I kind of have my eye on wanting to get that guy right there, hopefully. I know I'm at a 4, so hopefully they don't take him. If they do take him, I kind of probably not going to go for a big-headed lady there. Probably go for maybe one of them. Although I don't have many yellows, and if I remember correctly, rainbows cannot be used. Alrighty, so here we go. So for foraging, they went with a 5. So I do get my 4 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4. And my extra 2. Gonna go that way. And roll. So looking out here. Like I said, if I want to go for him, which I know I'll be able to because they're not fulfilling. I know I want to do a intelligence. So I know I need a flower for that. There we go. And then one of anything. And then they are going to... Well, I know I'm getting plenty of gems, so I don't need to get the gem. I can get a flower with that one. I don't have many options for mushrooms. Oop, that flipped. So we'll go with that. So we'll go 3 flowers and a mushroom. See if maybe I can get the speed for big hat person. So there's all of that. We go to study. They did a 4. I did a 5. So I only get an action of 2 study. So I could bring the speed up to intelligence in case I can do that. Or intermediate. Or I could do another forage. I think I want to go with a forage. So we're going to move 2. Get a gem. Like so. Alright. Market. We are tied. But I have the 1, so I actually get to go first on this one. Ha! So we are going to spend our 3. 1, 2, 3. For these 2 cards. Which gives us the 3 gems and the flower. So I got a bunch of stuff. And then they would discard this card. They do nothing else, so I'm going to do brew and fulfill. So let me figure out my potion situation. I'm also going to figure out if I want to actually trade in anything there, and I'll do that retroactively because I would have done that normally anyways. Alright, so I wouldn't have turned anything in. I'm not going to have a potion to drink on my last turn because I think I am actually going to go for big hat person here because it is 12 points and I can do the 2 speed. I think that might be the best option. Although I really do like that whole ones of them. And if I can do 3 potions, then it might be worthwhile, especially because that would actually give me 7. Yep, I'm already changing my mind again. I'm not going to go for big hat person. So I need to readjust my numbers here. We are instead going to do 2 intelligence. And then we can do a speed. And then we have these left over. So 2 intelligence. And a speed. So we'll get our stuff turned in. We are then going to move the fulfill. They are not fulfilling. So we're going to use these to fulfill our guy right here. Which is going to be 5 points. And then because I used the blue, that is 7. Which brings us up to 30. He is going to let me take the study action twice. So let's go ahead and, you know what, let's move yellow up here. To move that into there. So those have been done. And then he gives me a flower. So there is my fulfill. I can't fulfill anyone else. So now we move into the final round. Reset everything. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Our last villagers come into town. I may want to focus on yellow this turn because there is a lot of yellow out here. Flip over our final tile so we get a good of our choice. And I am going to grab a gem because I know I want to focus on yellow. So with that being said, let me go ahead and lay these out and figure out where we're going to go. Oh, I still have to grab my good... No, I did. I grabbed a gem. That's right. Alright, so I have set up my board. So now we get into drinking potions. I am going to drink my potion, which gets me a coin. And I'm actually going to use it to roll the big die because I have the chance of getting potions from the big die. And I don't really care about pushing up my study tracks anymore. So we get our blue potion back and a point. Well, that puts us one forward more on there if that's who we end up getting. So they ended up not drinking a potion. So now we are into the final reveal. So we know they're going to go for 29 and 40, but I am going to fulfill before them, so I don't care what they're doing. And outside of brewing, they're going to take care of everything else. Or I'm going to be 1. So forage, we get our 4 plus our 2. So we are looking for mushrooms and gems. Mushrooms and gems. There we go. 1 mushroom, 3 gems. So if we lay out our potions as is, we have those 2. So right now I would technically only be able to brew 2, but I have saved my apprentices. I haven't used them yet, so I can actually brew up to 4 when it comes round to me. So like right now I could brew an intelligence as well. And each leftover potion is actually worth 2, or maybe I can use it to try and fulfill something, because so that's 4, so I need 6. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, or I can do 2, 4, 5. So I could actually fulfill a second one. So there's all of that. We now move into the market. I never took my coin. Again, I keep forgetting about that. So we get my coin. So I could brew an additional one if I had the resources, but I'm not going to have the resources. I am going to be 1 resource short, so I am only going to be able to brew there. So do I still buy something? Now I'm going to keep these coins because she's going to give me points for coins at the end of the game. So I'm actually going to skip the market. We go into brew. Again, I could only technically brew 2. I'm going to spend my apprentice to brew 3. The 2 speed potions and an intelligence potion. So there is my brewed potions. We now go into fulfill. I fulfill first, so we are going to spend our 2 and our 1 of anything to fulfill her, who is normally 12. Because I unlocked that, it's an additional 1, so it's going to be 13. So that puts us up to 44 and gives us 2 coins. And she's got an endgame. He's got an endgame. There we go. Now they fulfill. They grab 29 and 40. So they're going to grab them and them. So they end up with 6. I end up with 6. So still pretty even. So that is the end. We now go into endgame scoring. So let's go ahead and get out our rule book here. Endgame scoring. So visitor cards with endgame. Alright, so the endgame bonuses. She gives me a point for every coin. So I have 4 coins. So 1, 2, 3, 4. His is 1 point per visitor that needs a rainbow. 1, 2, 3 are wild. So that is 3 points. 1, 2, 3. So I am at 51. For every 2 apprentice tokens. Nope. And then for every potion, gain 2. 1 and 2. Leftover ingredients are not worth anything. The player with the most prestige wins. So as I said, I needed to get to 65. I ended up with 53. This was my first time playing the solo version. So I'm pretty happy with that, especially with them saying it is difficult. There was those couple of wasted turns I did in the middle. That really kind of hindered me. So overall, that is a quick and simple solo one to operate, just kind of moving it up and going as you do. And there is a massive stack of them. There are 12 solo mode cards, so there is quite a few solo modes that you are able to partake in. As I said, this plays basically the same way as multiplayer. The cards are based on a person playing, so you basically are playing against another player. There was no different setup except that they're not gathering resources and etc. Also, if they would have drank any of these potions that like pertain to you, like the one love potion is everyone gives you a coin, then it would actually pertain to you and I would have had to pay a coin. So that wasn't prevalent on this one, but on some of them there will be. So because I never got to them, let me just go over the last of these potions. So you saw all of the intelligence potions in action. The love potion. When you do it, you're going to get 2 apprentices, and you're going to unlock persuasion. I made mention of that is in this instance, instead of grabbing a coin, I could have grabbed an apprentice instead. I will say, as you unlock these abilities, if you drink it again, you would just get this ability. You don't unlock the ability again because it's already been unlocked. The middle one is everyone gives you a coin, and I believe basically you make sure you have 4. So if it's in a 2-player game, your opponent would give you 1, and then you would take, I believe it was 3 from the bank. It always guarantees you 3 coins. That's the one that always gets me. You always end up gaining 3 gold, not 4. So if you are in a 2-player game, your opponent would give you 1, and then you would take 2 from the supply. So you always get 3, and that's why it's depicted there. This last one is persuasion, or confusion, or something to that effect. Or hypnosis. You're going to take this and you're going to put it on one of the people out in the row. You are now the only person who can fulfill that customer. And when you do, you get a bonus for prestige. When you get it, it just comes back out here. Oh, I just realized, so they took a couple of the visitors with this infinity one. Let me get into that after I do the speed. So I kind of explained this one is you reveal those into those hands. This last one is you would get a 0 token, and you basically replace one of your priority tiles with the 0 priority one. So I could have replaced my 5 with the 0, and then obviously 0 is the lowest, and I would always be beating the solo player. So really quick, this card with this infinity symbol. So I think there was a couple times they were going to take this, and I just ignored them. The infinity symbol is they can be fulfilled any number of times in a round, but once they are fulfilled, they are discarded at the end of that round. So if he was out there, I could have fulfilled him, gotten the 2 apprentices. If I had enough again, I could fulfill him again, get the 2 apprentices, and then my opponent could also fulfill him. Then at the end of the round, at that point, he is discarded and no one gets the card itself. So there were 2 of those. There was him and this one. So these were the 2 with the infinity symbols. So that is a long thing of saying that was Potions of Azerland. That was me playing it solo and me losing solo. Now if I could please get you to head down below and hit like, subscribe, comment, share, ring the bell. Let me know if you've played this and your thoughts on the game. Also down there are ways of supporting the channel through our Patreon or our Ko-fi. Ko-fi is a one-time donation where you can go ahead and buy me a drink to help me get over the sting of this defeat. So, until next time, get brewing.